Yo, what's up? TrevorTCG here with Green-White Life Gain. A little bit of a, new spin on things, because we're powering the deck with Errant of Eos. It's a huge card advantage engine from March of the Machines. 4 and a white for a 4/4 with Convoke. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less from among them, where X is the number of creatures that convoked Errant of Eos. So if you convoke it with 2 creatures, you can find 2 creatures with mana value 2 or less. If you convoke it with 3 creatures, 3 or less, etc, etc. It's a 4/4, it's something you can commit to the board while finding use of card advantage, being a sizable threat in itself, and lets you kind of commit and not worry too much about getting wrath and that kind of thing. So, that helps power the deck, but this shell's been around for a little bit already. We have Elvish Mystic and Llanowar Elf to help us accelerate us out of the gates as fast as possible, start spamming creatures into play, get into your Errant of Eos, get into your Collector Company, which also holds everything together. Then we have our kind of like Soul Sister style effects. We've got Lunarch Veteran, we've got Prosperous Innkeeper, which also makes a treasure, again, accelerates you quite quickly, and also a couple of copies of Daxos. So the Lunarch Veteran comes back from the graveyard as well, pretty nice in that regard. Prosperous Innkeeper again ramps you, and then Daxos, being legendary, is a little weaker, but also has the die ability on it, you gain life 2, and can be a massive wall versus aggro decks. So all these really, really integral. And then what are we doing with all this life gain? We have 4 copies of Voice of the Blessed, and 4 copies of Trilasara Moondancer. So the copies of Voice, white for a 2/2. Whenever you gain life, it gets a +1/+1 counter. As long as Voice of the Blessed has 4 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it's Flying and Vigilance. But if you get to 10 counters, it also gains Indestructible, which is huge. Trilasara, a little bit different. Green and white for a 2/2 is legendary, but we're going to run 4 copies. It's fine. If you hit a second one or something like that, like a Coco into like a second copy earlier, you do still get the life gain triggers off of your Soul Sister effects. But, importantly, Trilasara also scries you, so it gets a counter on it, and then you also get to scry one, giving you some nice card selection as well. Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. These get big very, very quickly. Ideally, you're going like Llanowar Elf into Lunarch Veteran into one of these. That's kind of your nut start, but there's a bunch of really, really strong draws. You can get out of the gates very, very quickly, amass a ton of power. Obviously, Voice of the Blessed being able to fly is obviously super, super awesome. You start to smash over the top. We also have Skyclay Apparition, kind of providing us with some interaction. Obviously, you can find this off of both Collector Company and Errant of Eos as well. Super, super nice, super, super nice. And we have a single copy of Heliod also here. 2 and a white for a 5/5. As long as your devotion to white is less than 5, Heliod isn't a creature, which, hey, we've got Voice of the Blessed, we've got Daxos, we've got Skyclay Apparition, all providing 2 pips. Not that hard to get online, but hey. Mostly you're playing it for this. Whenever you gain life, put some counter on target creature or enchantment you control, and then it also gives other creatures lifelink, gives you a really nice strong game against aggro decks, which is awesome. That's kind of the shell, and we're kind of holding everything together with Collector Company, because you can accelerate into with your Elves and your Prosperous Innkeeper, and then also Errant of Eos. We're trying to basically spam the board with creatures, convoke into a night, grab some more creatures, and then obviously as we spam the board, we're gaining life, powering up our Trilasara and Voice of the Blessed, and beating our opponent down. The mana base then is fairly straightforward. We need as many we want green sources for Elvish Mystic and Llanowar Elves. We need to make sure that we can cast things like Daxos and Voice of the Blessed on turn 2 as well. So we've got a pile of just straight up dual lands. 4 copies of Temple Garden, 4 copies of Razorverge Thicket, 1 overgrown farmland, because, the first couple of land drops are super, super important. If any of those lands come into play tapped, you're in big trouble. We've got 3 copies of Brushland, because I want to make room for 1 Plains, because I'm fed up of getting Field of Ruins. We've got 4 copies of Branch Off Pathway. We have 2 copies of Cave of the Frost Dragon. Obviously, Manlands coming in over the top to finish the game out every now and again. And then also an Django and a Boseiju kind of rounding everything out. Have a quick look at the sideboard and then we'll hop into some ranked games. We've got 3 copies of Selfless Spirit, new edition from Shadows Remastered. Protects your entire team, attacks in the air, it's great. Again, you can find it off of Errant, you can find it off Collector Company. We love it, we love it. 2 copies of Redain. Great disruption versus things like Enigmatic Fires, and also versus Mono Green. Non-creature spells your opponents cast a mana value 4 or greater cost 2 more to cast is huge, as well as being a evasive threat in the air. And every now and again you can use the other ability on it. Valkyrmira, Protector's Shield, 3 and a white, legendary artifact. If a source an opponent controls will deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent 1 of that damage. And then whenever you or another permanent you control can target a spell or ability the opponent controls, counter spell or ability unless its controller pays for 1. Every now and again, versus red, you will pull this in and just slam it on the backside. Again, we can ramp into that as well off of our elves and stuff and just get it down early, and all of a sudden our opponent's damage is pretty nullified. 2 copies of Night of Autumn, a bit of a catch-all, but hey, artifacts and enchantment hate, that again we can Coco into, we can find off Ranger, and also gets you some life gain or a sizable threat if you need to. Super, super flexible, love Night of Autumn. 2 copies of Fateful Absence, things like Greasefang, where you're going to want some extra interaction for creatures kind of at instant speed. Straight up creature Planeswalker, when you need an answer, Fateful Absence does the job. 2 copies of Rest in Peace, alongside 2 copies of Scavenging Ooze. Again, a bit of a mix of graveyard hate. Rest in Peace is obviously the #1 graveyard hate card, but Scavenging Ooze, again, being able to find off Collected Company, being able to find off Errant of Eos is awesome. And then this is a bit of a weird choice, 2 copies of Obstinate Baloth. These come in against aggro, but also I've seen a bit of a rise in like Liliana based, like even Waste Not type strategies, and so I figured, we're gonna hedge towards that a little bit. And so a couple of copies of Obstinate Baloth, 4 mana for a 4/4, ETB gain 4 life, so fairly strong wall against aggro that also gains you life. But then if the spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard Obstinate Baloth, put it onto the battlefield instead of putting it into your graveyard. So hey, some extra upside on there. I'm going to hop into some ranked games. If you're not ready, please do subscribe to the channel. Nearing in on 500 subscribers, so thank you all very much. And yeah, ranked games, let's go. Alright, into our first rank match. Let's see what we do. This deck's been performing pretty well for me, I'll be honest. Let's in here. Unfortunately, like this hand at like 6 could maybe consider keeping it. Got the Llanowar Elf start, even then you can't actually cast this Daxos. We haven't got any of our life gain effects either. This looks pretty reasonable. We have a choice here whether do we want to keep or bottom the Ranger. We have our kind of inbuilt stuff with Lean Up Veteran and Wasted Blessed. I think the best thing to do is actually keep this and bottom a Lean Up Veteran. That seems like the play. First Cuisine gets us there. And then the Night Errant also helps us draw out of the mulligan, which is awesome. We'll lead with this. And we have a choice basically, do we want to run the Voice out or do we want to run out the Prosperous Keeper? First, then get an extra couple of copies. Is Blooming Marsh heavily implies this for Greasefang, which is need to worry about Fatal Push. I kind of want to play the Elf this turn. And so I'm actually thinking, if it's Greasefang, we want to be as fast as possible, so maybe thinking the Voice is better. So then next turn we're going Innkeeper into the Elvish Mystic. I think that's fine. The things like if they have like Fatal Push. Which, hey. Is only what is not a Greasefang? I think the plan when we get our man into play is probably the best bet, because then at least we have more options to us. I'm gonna burn this treasure to make the Elvish Mystic now. Which means even with nothing going on, we'll still be able to convert the Night Errant next turn. Alright. Yeah, absolutely looks like Greasefang. This is kind of what we thought. That's fair. If we get turn 3'd, our best bet here really is to play the Voice. We're not going to be dead, but we are going to be in some trouble. But there's a potential, because the Voice gets up to have Flying and Vigilance and then later on Indestructible, to be able to kind of outrace what's going on here. So we're going to go ahead and commit to this. We get some counters. Fair enough. Unfortunately, can't quite convert this turn. No attacks. If we draw a land, we have company. If not, we have Ranger. We'll see if they have the natural Greasefang or not. Okay, Professor. Fair play. Well, they're going to actually learn? Or are they going to loot? Ooh, they don't have an actual learn. Alright, that goes and helps them dig. So, yeah, so, 5. I think our plan is to go 1... I can do this the way. One thing with Night Errant, when you're convoking, you want to be really, really careful. I advise you just to like hit control, go into full... I can't. Why can't I remember? Go into full control. It even says it right here. For a moment, just to make sure you're tapping as you want to tap, because it will screw you. I'm actually leaning towards these two, because I think we might need to gain life out of being Greasefanged, which, you know, we can work around. So now this is Flying and Vigilance, and so they need to kill us absolutely quickly. I'm just going to point out that conceding here is crazy, because they can draw any number of things, but I don't know what's in their hand. We want to bring in our copies of Rest in Peace. Sorry, that Selfless Spirit isn't there, but maybe we do. I'm going to think about that. A couple of Scavenging Ooze. I've been trying a different copy. Sorry, I've been trying a couple of different like Errant of Eos decks. One's like more Death and Taxes style, one more like a couple of different things. Maybe say this is the one I've had the most success with so far. I've been working on the D&T list. I think I've got into a place where I want it, but yeah, it's hard to say sometimes. It's just worse than playing like humans. This, however, has been pretty good. So versus Greasefang, we don't want to mess around with Halliard. We want to be as fast as possible. Things about that, the knights are fine, but are a little bit more clunky here. I don't want to bore them out because that's like kind of the card we're meant to be showcasing. Trim down a little on the number of solstice effects. We still want all the elves. Kind of down a couple of copies of Daxos. Yeah, I'm not entirely committing to the bit. We're going to cut one of these night arrows. I'd probably cut a couple more, but we're trying to showcase it for the video. So, it's fine. We want to actually draw them to see what they're like. When you're testing a card, you sometimes, even if you're like, normally I play like a copy of this or 2 copies of it, but you're not testing with it unless you're actually playing with it. So, okay. This hand is slow. Versus Greasefang, I don't think we can keep it. It gets broken up very easily as well. Yeah. I think that is fair. This is pretty reasonable. We have an interesting choice here. We can either... Well, I think we're getting rid of the Innkeeper. We basically have this nut straw where we can go Llanowar Elf into Lunarch Veteran plus Trelasera. I cannot pronounce this card's name right. I'm sorry. Teach me in the comments, please. Yeah. Selesnya. Alright, Thoughtseize is interesting. I kind of don't mind what they take. Like, all our cards are fairly solid. That's not a great draw. But hey. We're not on the worst spot. We actually couldn't go that high I wanted to anyway. Which is, you know, Mana Confluence. I wonder if they're playing the 4-color version. There's a bunch of new, or like new-ish versions of Greasefang that kind of popped up. Why would I be doing this and not this? There's the Neoform version. There's the Eldritch Evolution version, which you can play those together, or you can play the Eldritch Evolution version just in straight Abzan. There's a couple of different variations even within Abzan as to like what numbers you're playing, whether you're playing the Red Unearth card, things like that. Mardu's kind of fall off the wayside. I actually posted a video with Esper, which I really like as well. And you get to play Rona, another new creature from March of the Machine. Pretty great, pretty great. Alright, so they Wayfinder through a Fatal Push. They now have creatures in they now have stuff in their graveyard, which is, you know, not what we want. I think we just kind of have to play our game plan out. And so I'm going to cast a Company here. They have mana up, they can kill Tressart. Right. That's rough. We'll go through a Rest in Peace. Would be a good time to draw into a Knight Errant. But when is it not? We'll see if they have Greasefang here. They did actually have the Fatal Push anyway. I think they were maybe thinking of doing that in response to the Company. In which case, yeah. Alright, alright. I like the, like, tank for some of them. Tank Greasefang. We're pretty dead. Yeah, the Thoughtseize on the Lunarch Veteran was actually huge. I realised we couldn't actually kill out the way I was suggesting with that Temple Gun anyway. We can get rid of this, but not while. This flies? We don't have enough white sources. Pain. I was gonna say, we could make this as a flyer and play this 6 on the Greasefang, then we have, like, some stuff, but no. We're gonna run this back. I should bring these Fateful Absences in as well. I like the Heliod cuts. I am gonna cut another Knight Errant, even though, like, it looked like it was really, really good there. Like, hey. It is what it is. One or more card. We need to hit these, but it's awkward. It's legendary. Get down to 3. I think you're just having fake lapses, so you just lose to getting Greasefang. That's fine. It's a bit of a weird one, because if we do our thing, we can kind of survive the Greasefang onslaught. This is solid. I like that. The pathways, as you saw there, can be a little awkward. Where like having to play this on green for Lano Elf means that actually you can't go. Okay. I don't know what it is. I've had a couple of like non-real matches. And this is a real match. They probably mulligan into Oblivion, which is, you know, fair enough. I wouldn't want to play it out either. Let's go into another game. We'll see you in a second. Alright. Match number 2 here. See what our opponent's on. Opponent is on the play. Hate to see it. This looks like a keep. There's obviously a ton of mana in our hand, but we have a lot of payoffs. We have a lot of ways to draw cards. That is another mana card, but that's fine. Everything's gonna be alright. Red-green legends. Okay. Let's not draw another Razorback, shall we? Take the Innkeeper first. We'll get the other elf down. Okay. So we have a ton of mana, we need to draw Company, Knight, or one of our like life gain counter cards. No blocks on the draw, that can come through. What else they have? Migwas. Yeah. That's sweet. Okay, this works. Go ahead and play this first. I was gonna say, please, yeah, don't crash. I don't know what's on the bottom. We want to find a company or a knight. We definitely want to make sure we tap with green for Processing Keeper so we can still cast this. Alright. Actually, Sky Apparition will do. Piece of Interaction will do great. And then the Lunar Veteran as well. Do more triggers. On top. And on top again. I need to reread Hajar. Yeah, I'll not do that. The Hajar, sacrifice it. +1/+0 and indestructible. Okay. I need to be a little careful. Ooh, Mox Amber. I love these decks. I haven't actually done a video on one of like these style of like green like Bard class decks. Let me know, because that's what I mean to get around to. They're just gonna pump it straight up, which is fair enough. We know that we can take the hit though, to be fair. No blocks. Alright, that's fair enough, I guess. We'll play this cycle and activate. Maybe he should have just blocked. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't. We took some damage there, but I think we can... I think the risk of them Risk reward wise, if they obviously like leave this in play, then hey, there. Alright. Galia. The Satyr Lord that also draws you cards. Clothis is a... This is a wild card. 1 red green 4/5 obviously devotion card. Beginning of your pre-combat main phase, exile a card from a graveyard. Any graveyard. If it was a land, you get mana, otherwise you gain 2 life and it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Just random like... Alright. Okay. I'll grab Heliod in the voice. Because we have Heliod online here. And now we can put counters on all our little creatures. As well as the big creatures. So, let's start here. Let's make sure this is out of range of stuff. They're just going to scoop it up. Okay, fair enough. We're going to game 2. So, red-green legends. I like the knights. I like the fables. I like the users because we kind of get blocking it. Did we end up blocking a lot? I'm not convinced of this. The knights deal with like Bard class, some other potentially problematic cards. I think that's fine. Again, this is a matchup where we are a little pressured to be like fast. Drawing cards isn't going to win us the game. So we will cut 2 copies of Knight, even though that's like how we've built the deck. We try to be as fast as possible. The other thing I did there is trim the legendary creatures a little. Just smooth this out a bit. There are times, and it's happened a bunch, where you Koku into a Telesara with a Telesara in play and you're like, oh well, it triggers the gain life effects, but one of these goes. Well, you start with 2 in your opening hand, which is also good. Alright, game 2 then. Roll the draw. I'm gonna keep this. The company kind of keeps everything together. In that, if everything goes horribly for us early, we'll still be able to cast Collector Company. Hopefully. And with this start, we should be able to cast Collector. And a couple Engorge. This finds all the creatures, but also finds Bar class, which is, you know, that's what you want. I do love Legends, like being able to play Mox Amber. I have a mono white Legends build. Kind of, we got Anafenza and a few other like cheap legendary creatures recently. I'm like, oh, interesting. I'm going to do Trelasora, because if we find a like in effect, this also lets us scry and kind of filter out some of these lands that we're drawing. Geez, I should have played the cave. Yeah, alright. Bit of a potato day. Again, I'm a little under the weather, leave me alone. Fortunately, it isn't going to impact us too much here. The target art. 4 mana to double power and toughness. Okay. Attack the 6 power creatures, attacking creatures get a bit bigger. So blocking here turns off the Mox Amber. Temporarily. Which I don't hate. Given that we're building to Collector Company, that's the only thing that really matters right now. From our perspective. No. Ah, okay. That's fair enough. I wasn't expecting anybody, but I probably should have been. Actually, we're gonna cast Company this turn. I'll put the brush land out. Just pass. If they attack with Lana Ralph, we'll Coco respond to the ambush, but they might just not attack. We've got 5 cards in hand to pass with 4 mana up. I mean, it's very telegraphed. Unless I think we only have lands. What does the last level do? Whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile top 2 cards of your library, you can play this with it. That's pretty nuts. I've not seen that before, actually. I don't think I've ever seen this hit the 5th stage. We will grab Innkeeper plus Daxos. There we go. So now we've got our life gain effect set up for our Trilosaur. Nice. Knight is like the perfect draw. I'm gonna... Well, let's do this first. Leave this on top. Happy enough drawing that. I'll cave and then we'll just cook. Okay. Be careful, shall we? There we go. I'll just... I'll grab a voice just because we... The voice ends the game in the air and okay. Just having the other Sky Aversion on top is the sweetest brags, I guess. Alright. Oh, they're actually random order, right? Yeah. Forget about it. No. Why do we not know? Fair. They're the border creatures, to be fair. We're gonna need both these Sky Apparitions. This is quite scary. You can make a new Mox. Yeah. Okay. Rending Volley is great. You definitely want that. Now I'm pretty scared. This makes dragons. If you control an attacking modified creature. Which, you know, they could do that. Is this hexproof? No, it's indestructible, not hexproof. Okay, it's fine. That's rough. We have to decline, so you need this Sky Oppression. Also, didn't realize this didn't trigger off its own die. I should have realized. Crowan War is... Alright, we're in a... We are... About that. Not quite. But it is super close. Because Skyclave exile here, Skyclave exile here. As well, we have what, 10, 11? Yeah, we can't do that. Well, we can Skyclave exile one of them, get the voice in play. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. Can't quite do both. From 13. Let's just try and get both the creatures. This isn't awful actually because we lose the other one. Sort of. I think I'm straight to the bottom. Try and find something else good. This is tough. Yeah, bottom. Nine. So then... Oh yeah, it was found off commune. That makes sense. Ooh, Gali is a good draw too. Oh jeez. When they see the Trilosaur, then they can attack with it next turn. It's not like a weird good double block. We're just gonna play blocks here. Okay. Then creatures have to attack. I have that as actually a creature right now. Okay. Okay. Well, Heliod blocks really well. That's great. I'm gonna put counters on the voice. We have to do some chump blocking. We've got mana to give something lifelink though. Appreciate. Now my creatures have to attack. We don't know what's on top of our deck. Alright, now they exiling a bunch of cards when they cast such a creature. That is the nightmare. Oh dear. Okay. So yeah, Kadama gives creatures that are modified trample. I all of these. Is 17 power creatures? And that comes in with trample and haste as well. We can activate lifelink on one creature. Yeah, we're just dead. $14, $18, $20. Yeah, these all have trample. Like that game, obviously they got ball class up a lot. Obviously, did end up being about cards a bit more. I don't know. I think we want the Night of Worms because we definitely want to sell those ball classes off. I'm sick of my gut feeling because they have the super powerful like aggro draw as well. Okay. Game 3. Alright. The 5 the 5 land hand into the 1 land hand. On the play, if we had an elf I'd keep this in a heartbeat, but 5 it is. Okay. We need the voice of the company. So which card of Skyclave, Heliod, and Fake Lapses we want to keep? I think it's the Skyclave. Alright. I mean... Oh, that's... This is a reason... Excuse me. This isn't unreasonable at all. Yeah, we don't block this. Okay, elf is awkward, but we kind of have to do it this way around. We're nearly there. Oh, Rossidon. Oh, jeez. The Rossidon is okay. We have an answer for the Rossidon. Ow. So we need a land. For company. Yeah, we need a land for company. I was about to say ore. No, not ore. Are they gonna fight these? No, plus 1 mana. Not gonna make. Bar class. Yeah. Okay. Now off to the races. I'm gonna shock and main phase this. Alright. Oh, jeez. Having a bit of a moment. We've got mana. We've got mana for the company. We're not in the worst spot. From a Malta 5, this is Looking great. Alright, Kadama's there as well. Not got haste yet, but they can now fight stuff away. Yeah. Alright, they're gonna pass 3. I will cast this first. This can fight again, which is a huge problem. Means you want to kind of conserve this until after. I'm gonna say go, and then we'll Coco in response to that attack. Oh, okay, what are we doing with that? Oh dear. Alright, hold. Hold. I'm really putting in the work here. Okay, pass. Yeah, so this card I kind of randomly to draw too, which is pretty nuts. Alright, Coco time. That's not bad. That outgrows Rending Volley. Now we get to make some blocks. I'm just going to put this here. Let's be so careful with this because it's trample. Yeah, I think we should. Because if they want to fight this with Domri, they have to sacrifice one of the creatures to do so. They do have Hajar to give indestructible. Maybe they sacrifice Hajar and then fight. No, because that's been really far behind as well. I forget. Kadama also has this other ability to get sea lands. This is a star of what I was built. I was playing like a Hardened Scales list with Kadama. It's really strong. This is quite a while ago now. I've got a new Hardened Scales build actually, with some cards from the new set, which is, I think, pretty sweet. This is the new Ozolith and then another green-white creature to pair it with Conclave Mentor. We'll see, we'll see. There we go. Now we level it up. Alright. So they've got the Flurry of card advantage kind of going. We need to see what we draw here. We need some pretty good draw steps. Again, off a multiply. Too bad. They're going to fight away. That is fair enough. We have another one. They have a Kadama, but they have a card advantage engine ready to go, even though they don't have infinite mana right now. Okay. Alright. Oh, okay. That's a good draw. Let's go do that then. So white for voice. The life total is really important. So then we want to convoke. We want to be able to cast some creatures actually. Let's send 2 more. It doesn't actually match which of these it did do, but we want to maybe cast some creatures after casting this. But once voice kind of gets up to okay. This is one creature, so we're a little weak to a Chrome War. But I'm gonna get a pile of life back. I didn't mean to actually. Fine, we're gonna play this out now. We've got our attacks we want to make. Alright, so we're not indestructible yet, and he's one more counter, but it is flying a vigilance, and it is in a position where, like, a lot of the creatures we draw next turn just kill them. So, what can they get off of Bioclass? What do they have? The Domri to fight, okay. That's found them a Rending Volley and a Completion Forest.
I'm a crazy beast. Where do you see my mates?
I'm gonna Rending Volley down the Night Errant. That'd be fine. That means we can. I have to be careful about blocking because they've got Domri to take down with. Let's see what they do here. Okay. I'm gonna fight there instead. Fortunately, that doesn't get their Reforestodon back. Now, what's the situation? they're priced into shooting down the knight. Now they thought that they can't threaten an attack, which I think is fine, but I think they're a bit afraid. They're scared. I know what's coming. We didn't hit a land. I think we have a responsibility to send some creatures at Domri. So let's do this. I get to eat some stuff. We're not out of the woods yet, but they get to go off with Bog Class again this time. We're gonna hold the Green Farmland in hand. You know, maybe we can represent a company. It's probably not going to change the way they play. They probably can't play around us having a company anyway. That's fair enough. How that goes. If your opponent can't afford to play around it, then sometimes it's the. Oh, do they not have a... Okay, they do have Legendary Creature. So that finds a Rending Volley and a Llanowar Elves. Then we've got the Domri. We know they've got a Besagi. So we can block the Kadama. They also have the Den to activate if they want to. They're going to make some attacks. Oh, they can draw it. Okay. We don't have the last counter here, which is worrying. I don't want to block like this. I'm also going to put... Oh, this is... What if... What's it? They have Embercleave? Is that the worst? I'm going to do this. Okay, a Chrome War is good for them. That's like the best thing I have. There's no real playing around that. Okay. Voice of the Blessed is going to beat us down and kill us. That's going to be the game. But you can see the power here. We got a lot going on. And Knight Errant is like a card advantage engine is awesome. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, that kind of stuff. And have a great day. Peace out.